And good evening and welcome to Newton, Iowa and Iowa Speedway, the site of round 4 of the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series, live here on Full Throttle Television. My name is Brody Hanna. With me in the booth tonight, as always, our good friend Tony Solari. And Tony, we're looking forward to a very exciting, a great race tonight for these guys here on the Iowa Speedway.
Yep, it's a little bit bigger track than where they were last week. They did have an season opener race out here, like a prelim race, and yeah, it was just some good racing back then, and I think we're going to see some more tonight.
Well, absolutely, yeah. The guys got kind of a warm up round here, like you were talking about earlier on, before the season started. Saw some great racing there. Expect some great racing again tonight. This is one of those tracks, though, Tony. I really personally haven't had any good. I've had decent finishes, but just haven't really been able to figure this place out because it's got a lot of intricacies, I guess you could call them. A little bit of a bump into turn one. The track can be really bumpy, especially high in turn one. And the multiple grooves in 3 and 4. Talk a little bit about how the track can kind of play havoc on a driver.
Well, you come into this track thinking it's like a mile and a half, and you kind of have that mindset like it's a mile and a half. At least I do. But then you realize it's not actually a mile and a half, and yeah, factor in the bumps, and there still is some decent mile and a half speed here. It is a tricky beast. I do love it though. It's a great place to race.
It is. It's unique, and I think that's why a lot of the drivers like it. As we'll look at our track facts here for tonight, look at our race info. If it will pull up for me here. There we go. Iowa Speedway. So, like you said, it's a fast track. It almost races like a mile and a half, but it is a shorter track. A little bit bigger than Richmond, but smaller than most tracks. And I think that kind of throws people off sometimes, too. It's just the speed that you're carrying in these corners are a little bit higher than what you think you're going. But you're going to see action through 3 and 4. There's multiple lanes in other cars. I think we're going to see around the bottom in these cars. But 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 are completely different here. And like you said, we had a warm up earlier. If you want to kind of talk about the drivers that found success here in the warm up race before the season started.
Well, the winner of the opener, or the pre-opener, I guess you would call it was Mark Brentkamp. He was our winner last week. We also had Greg Drelling. Believe he was third place, and then we had Ty Bostic was our second place. And we've seen some good stuff out of them already so far this season with some of the other tracks. So it'd be nice to see how they're going to do tonight. Especially too, they've already had some experience here. Everybody has.
Absolutely. And qualifying is underway right now. As soon as that finishes, we'll get into the heats. Remember tonight, for you guys that are joining us for the first time for these races, there are 2 heat races that set the inside and the outside row. Once that finishes up, we go into a main event and then race, I believe, 60 laps from there. The heat races tonight, if I'm correct, I think are like 8 laps. It may be longer
Yep.
than tonight, but 8 laps.
Yeah,
Uh,
8 laps.
and they click by quickly, Tony. We talked about that before, how quick these races go by. I mean, you got 8 laps to make up some time to try to get a good starting position for the main.
Well, 22 seconds a lap average. Yeah, that's it's another quickie. These little shorty heat races go by very fast, so you got to make some moves early on and get that position before and stay out of trouble. There are no cautions either.
Talk about some of the front runners and some favorites. Sean Huffstutler was fast, and I think was able to grab a decent finish last week. But we saw Ty Bostic click off 2 wins early on in the race, and then our winner last week, which is he here tonight? I don't.
Yeah, it was Mark Brentkamp.
Okay,
And he
Brentkamp is, yeah. So you got 2 winners, but you've got some guys that are showing some speed that could get it done. Greg Drelling again, Chad Biesinger, the Biesingers. Both those guys are usually up there in contention for the win.
I believe we had one of them got a fourth place finish last time we were here at Iowa. So yeah, they're definitely drivers to look for. I'm trying to think too. We had David Baldassar that made some noise last time we were here at Iowa. It's just going to be a matter of attrition. Keep the car clean. Keep it under you. These are extremely hard to drive, as we've been saying since the start of the series. So it's going to be fun.
And I believe qualifying's over. We're going to get ready for the heats here. As soon as these guys start gridding, we'll go over our grid for tonight's first heat race.
Yeah, well, I can do that if you'd like right now. We have Mark Brenkamp starting first, David Baldessar starting second, Brendan Biesinger starting third, John Bennett starting fourth, Drelling starting fifth, Sean Huffstutler sixth, Kevin Dampier seventh, John Stepanek eighth, and Wayne Bridges will be the final driver in the first heat.
And there you see it. It's on our screen now. Finally, as we get rolling here, we were talking about Brinkamp winning last week. Well, he's going to start his first heat from the front row from the pole actually. But David Baltasar, we've seen him be really quick too. Greg Drelling as well. I mean, you got the heavy hitters. I mentioned them before we started. They're starting up front in the heat race here. But keep an eye on the 94. Sean Huffstutler. He's going to start deep in his heat here, but he's shown a lot of speed at every track we've been at so far.
Well, he's the qualify. He was our top qualifier. Next, and Stephen Hill got second. They do an invert field, like Brody had said earlier, and that's how they line up. And yeah, Mark got lucky there, and he got the first spot. So let's see what he does in this heat.
Yeah, they'll have two pace laps here, so we'll get one more lap under caution. Yeah, we've seen a lot of cautions towards the end of the main events too. And one thing to remember with these heat races, there are no cautions. So if you see an accident, unfortunately, we're going to try to keep with the leaders here. But if you see a wreck or an accident, these guys keep racing to the end of the heat. No cautions there, but we've seen plenty of action in the mains.
Yeah, they know they have about a 2 minute, 3 minute long race, and they got to get their job done quickly if they want to get a decent start for that main.
All right, I'm ready for some racing action. This should be some fun. This track always puts on some great racing, and you got options. Kind of, you can move up the track a little bit. This progressive banking on this track really lends itself to some great racing, even with these cars. So you're going to see some guys. I think the hardest thing with these cars is to hang on to it off the corners and down the straights. Honestly, in the corner you feel more stable. So we'll see how these guys can handle their cars and see who takes home heat race number one here as the pace car pulls off. We're getting ready for green.
Yeah, here we go.
Green flag's out. We're underway. Mark Brinkamp gets a good start, but David Baltasar hangs right with him. The front row's still side by side as we head into one.
And I'm just watching behind him. Everybody's kind of pacing out, shaking out a little bit. So far, everything looks clean and green.
As we complete lap one, Greg Drilling holds on to third place. But the front two have kind of pulled away, and then there's this little space. Drilling out there in the 35 kind of by himself in third place. The battle right now is for fourth on back, and man, it's getting a little heated already.
It's a mini gaggle back there. Yeah, I'm watching them, and they're doing great though. It looks like everybody seems pretty good. Nobody's wiggling or wagging, and everybody seems like they're keeping their
Oh, there you
too
go.
spoon.
That's Wayne Bridges and I believe Brendan Basinger back there
Kevin
involved.
Dampier, I think,
Kevin
went over
Dampier.
on his roof.
Meanwhile, we got a race for the lead here. Guys coming through 3 and 4. Baldassar starting to creep in.
Yeah, I'm watching this battle. They're still kind of strung out for third, fourth, and fifth, but they almost look like everybody's got equal distance on each other going through. And we're at what now? Lap 4, so we're halfway through this heat. This is a quick one.
Yep, got 5 to go here. Looking back from Brinkamp there, still hanging on to the point, but not by much. And you're starting to see Greg Drilling try kind of creep in on this battle as well.
Yeah, he's starting to make a little bit of move now, and we'll see if he might be able to take second place away from David Balbasar.
He's looking for it now. He's on the inside, unable to make that move though. He's going to fall back in line down the front stretch as we've got now 3 laps to go in this heat.
Yeah, it looks like he's starting to. He's still looking. It does. These cars are hard when they're side by side. They do move around a little bit, and so small. Yeah, he got a little close there.
That was, and I always cringe because I know how hard these cars are to hang on to. When you get close like that, you've got a 0 margin for error. He does complete the pass go, move Greg Drilling into second place.
Yeah, well, let's see what he's got for first. He doesn't have money. I think we're going on to the last lap right now. There should be white flag as we're speaking.
Well, what I see is 2 to go, so I'm not sure which is right.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like the iRacing software that I'm using or whatever I'm using. Well, they're showing lap 8 on 8, so this has got to be white flag now.
This is white flag. White flag lap, last lap, and I tell you, Greg Drilling has closed this gap. He's really close. Oh, and he's in the
And
wall.
yep, and that's the thing with these cars. You push them a little bit too much, you got that run, and you get the squeeze on that throttle. Looks like they got a battle
Oh,
for second, and they're taking them each other out.
oh no. Good thing it's for the heat race, man. I think these guys are having some fun with it. But man, what a battle, man! He closed up a lot there. He was pushing the. We got a little extracurricular activity. Ross Chastain's just joined the channel.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So Mark Burnkamp gets the win. It looked like Sean Hufstetler took second out of that. And
Look at
then who was number third here? I'm trying to scan. John Bennett got third place out of that. So that was good drive by
nice.
those guys.
Yeah, unfortunately, my software is already reset, so I don't even have the finishing order. We'll see that. We'll see the starting lineup when we get to the main race. But heat race number 2 now lining up. We'll look at the grid here. You got Brian Newingham on the front row with Ty Bostic. He's going to start this heat from row 1. Third place is going to be Ed Walk. Fourth, Marshall Layton in the 12. Fifth place is going to be the 23, Chad Basinger. Stephen Hill is going to start sixth in the 27. Seventh is going to be Melissa Dyer in the 38. Eighth, Christopher Standridge. And ninth, rounding out the field, is Billy O. Smith in the 75. Got some heavy hitters in this one, too, Tony. And I got to say, I'm impressed. The field size is pretty decent as well. I mean, we're getting 9, 10 cars in the heat races. This has made the heat races a little more important to get lined up for a main race, and also keeps the action going as well.
Oh, for sure. I mean, especially on a Saturday or Sunday night, rather. These cars aren't the easiest cars to drive. So there's a phrase I want to use, but I'm not going to use it. But it's got the word "steal" in it, and I'll tell you, these guys, they got them and they're doing their thing, and they're not an easy car to drive, and especially these heat races go so quick. And we saw a great first heat, and I think we're going to see another great one.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of fun to watch these guys kind of manhandle these cars because they are, like you said, they are not easy to drive. These cars do take quite a bit of input to kind of handle around the corner and off the corner. And
And
we've seen,
patience.
yeah, patience. Well, you're going to see patience in the main race. You have no patience here in the heat races. So it's go, go, go. We saw that in second place there. They were fighting hard and almost made it work out. But man, he was going for it and kind of got the wall off too, and then it led to some other issues.
Yeah, that's the fun part about these cars too, because you think you can squeeze that throttle just a little bit more. You see the guy in front of you getting a little bit closer, and you're like, let me just give it a little bit more, and then you're around.
That's a
And
typical
that's it.
typical racer right there. I could get a little bit more, a little bit. And you finally step over the edge and you find it. So that is what it is. But hey, heat race number 2 is about to get underway. Pace cars off. Brian Newingham leading them down. Ty Bostic on the outside in the 24, waiting for the green, and the green flag's out. And I tell you what, Ty got a really good start there.
He did. It almost looked like, I don't know what their penalty rules or system is, but it looks like he may have jumped that just slightly.
We'll see how they call that. But a good jump, and Newnham did not get a good start. But he's starting to claw him back. It's the battles for third, almost 3 wide through 3 and 4. Now the battle for second.
Yeah, I mean the top 5 you could cover with a fist right now, and we got a lot of passing, almost 3 wide there.
What? Yeah, it's some great racing actually. Oh, we see one of the cars get loose. I think it's Newnham dropping back through the field. The 17 of Newnham, he's falling back to 6th place right now.
Yeah, he got a little slip going into the corner, and everybody was so tight around him. They just found their way around him, and he lost. Yeah, he lost about 5 spots from the pole there.
I tell you, one guy running in 2nd place right now is Ed Walk. We haven't talked much about him, but man, he's putting on a show. He's actually going for the lead here in 3 and 4.
Yeah, well, right behind him is the Smoking Tire leader of the group, Marshall Layton. We don't really talk too much about him, and it's good to see him in the top 3 right now.
Absolutely. Actually, Layton kind of drifts high there. I'm sorry, it's Stephen Hill. Marshall Layton on the bottom, Stephen Hill on the high side. And Layton's going to drop back to 3rd here.
We almost had a little bit of contact with the, I believe it was the 27.
Yeah, and the 23 at
We did have
Basinger.
a little we did actually have a little contact in the back. I'll have to go back and look
That's
at that. Might have been.
Newingham from the front row, from the penthouse to the outhouse. Unfortunately, Newingham's going to be in the back, but we got a battle for the lead. Ty Bostic and Ed Walk, and Bostic under pressure from Ed Walk in the 18.
Yeah, and I like Ed's John Player special paint job out there, and yeah, he was making some moves there. Actually, he's starting to gain a little bit right now. He's got great corner exit speed.
So 3 and 4 coming to 2 to go here in this heat. And then closing up on him is Stephen Hill in the 27 as well.
Yeah, I don't know if Steven's going to have enough to get it there, but we've seen how these cars could play havoc on you. You know, just a little extra throttle, and that's it for you.
There's a good
But
shot at that car that you were talking about, Tony. It looks really good. And he it's going to look even better if he could get by the leader here. He's closing in on Boston.
well, he's holding second. You know, he might be content with that. You only have, I think we're on white flag now, right?
Yep, last lap. 1 lap to go here. This is for all them. Well, I say all the marbles. In the heat race, it's for all the marbles. He drives down into 3 and 4, trying to get that inside. Cannot get there, and it looks like the 24 of Bostic's going to hang on as Ed Watt crashes across the finish line, but does score his second place. But that's going to be Ty Bostic's win here in heat race number 2. And that's going to set us up for the main. As we set up for the main, let's thank our sponsors right quick before we get started. Racing action from the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series is brought to you by Team 126 Racing, your home for hard-nosed, short-track racing action from the UK. Like and follow them at facebook.com/Team126Racing. By Butt Kicker, feel what you've been missing and experience immersion on a whole new level. Visit thebuttkicker.com to see all of their amazing products today. By Track Racer, experience refined gaming for yourself, including the new Alpine Racing TRX system. For more information, visit trackracer.com today. By Edwards Setup Shop, proud setup provider of the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series. Visit facebook.com/Edwards Setup Shop for more information. And by Epsilon Sprint Wraps, the place to get your sprint car and dirt racing paint schemes. Visit facebook.com/Epsilon Sprint Wraps today. All right, as we're lined up for the main event, heat races have been complete, and it's time to get down to business. We'll show the starting grid here. Mark Brinkamp's going to lead them to the green with Ty Bostic on the outside, your 2 heat winners. Ed Walker's going to start third, Sean Huffstutler fourth. Starting fifth is John Bennett. Starting sixth will be Stephen Hill in the 27. Starting seventh is going to be David Baldassar. Keep an eye on him. Starting eighth is Chad Biesinger. Starting ninth is going to be Greg Drilling. Marshall Layton will line up to the outside of him, starting in 10th. That's your top 10. I'll scroll through the rest. Tony, what are we going to look for seeing? What are we going to see here tonight?
Well, I don't know if I find it coincidental, but Mark Brentkamp and Ty Bostic on the front row, they were the winners, 1 and 2 of last time we were here in Iowa. We had Greg Drilling finish third last time. We got some usual suspects. We got Sean Huffstutler we're looking at, David Baldassar, who was strong here from what I recall. Again, I said Greg Drilling. It's going to be interesting. Again, it's just going to be a attrition. Keep it clean. The heat races were really good. Just we're going to need to see more of that. And, you know, these guys got to be easy on that throttle.
Yeah, that's going to be the key, is being smooth, being consistent, being stable, keeping the car out of the wall and off of other cars. All those things lead to a win tonight, but man, we got some tough competition you've got to beat up there as well, and you're going to be on your P's and Q's here.
And I know Race Admin was mentioning something. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. There might be a delayed start here, possibly.
We'll keep an eye on the pace car and see if that actually happens. Through 3 and 4, this is where it would usually pull off. I believe we're going to go one more lap. Nope, pace car's in. Here we go. These guys are close on the start. Mark Brinkamp does get a good start though, but looks like somebody jumped to the outside there on the second row. It's going to be Stephen Hill up to fourth.
Yeah, it looks like Sean Huffstuffler actually kind of made a move. It looked like he was getting into second, or he may actually have already gotten second place by now.
He's working on it. Boy, they are close. And looks like something happened to Brinkamp. He pulled off the pace. That's going to give the lead to Bostic. Bostic and Huffstutler. And I think that's your two heavy hitters tonight.
Well, and I'm just, again, I don't remember exactly what was being said, or I didn't really even hear it, but maybe he gets an EOL for being race winner last week. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there. With Mark Brenkamp, that is. But yeah, he kind of took a drop to the back.
He did. He dropped to fifth, and we already had some carnage, and the caution's out. See if we can see what happened here.
I got to rewind myself and see what happened.
Christopher Standridge off turn 2. Into turn 3. Oh, he gets loose and then head on into the turn 3 wall. Man, that was a tough hit.
Ouch. Yeah, I'm watching it now. Well, they do have a. It looks like he avoided wrecking another car, but just the way these cars are, you try to correct, and you don't do it just right, you're going to hit the wall. He's got a fast repair.
On board there.
Get back out there.
He just gets loose, man, right into the wall. And yeah, you're right. They got a fast repair. His engine's done. You can see that, but they do have a fast repair, and he'll be able to get back out there and get back into the race. And he may be a lap or two down because of the tow time, though.
Yeah, and you wonder how bad the engine was. Usually you have the option to tow, or if the car can still move, you could try to limp it back to pit road, and at least you don't have to suffer that tow time. But with some cautions and this and that, you never really count anybody out, especially this early on.
See if I can make an adjustment right quick. You guys bear with us in the broadcast.
And actually looking as they're lining up now, we got Sean Huffstutler starting on the front point. Then Ty Bostic will be behind him. They actually do a single file lineup, so no more two wide restarts. Stephen Hill is third. Ed Walk is fourth. Mark Brandkamp is fifth. So again, I don't know exactly what was going on. If I'm sure we'll have some information maybe later on. And at least, yeah, that accident only was with one. We got Brendan Biesinger. I don't know if he missed the start, but he hasn't taken a lap so far.
All right, sorry for that, guys. I had to make an adjustment right quick so I could get the calls out quickly for you guys. We can see how these cautions come out. But yeah, so your top 5 right now: Sean Huffstutler first, Todd Bostic second, Stephen Hill third, Ed Walk running fourth, Chad Biesinger fifth, and again Brinkamp drops to well, he's showing fifth now. He's 6th place. No, he is fifth. He's 5th place, just riding on the inside. We asked him about that last week, didn't we?
We sure did, and yeah, that's kind of true because I almost actually forgot about it. But he likes keeping that gas in the tank, and we know they actually do need to get fuel at some point during this race because they are not going to have enough, especially since we were here for a prelim race. But yeah, that's a little strategy too. Keep a little weight on that rear axle. He says there's a little bit more stability on the car, but yeah, he is a low rider for sure.
For sure. And like I said, I'm just thinking about that. He was talking about how the weight, on the rear tires, how much it improves the handling of the car. It makes sense. I didn't think that much into it, but that is very true. The more fuel you can keep in the car in the rear, the more planted the rear tires will be, and the less you got to worry about the car kind of stepping out on throttle. So smart move there. We'll see if any of the guys kind of caught on to that this week. We were talking about if these guys are kind of listening to what he was saying.
Yeah, and I can't remember if these actually have a clutch. I mean, some guys don't actually have clutches in their sim rig, but back in some of the other series in the other cars, we have multiple gears to choose from to save fuel. We have the clutching option, shutting the engines down.
We're green. We're back green here. Sean Huffstutler to the point, got a good restart. Ty Bostic second. The battle is now for second. Stephen Hill is challenging him for second place.
We saw Sean in the number 94. He had a very commanding lead last week, led a lot of laps, and couldn't seal the deal towards the end. But he was a very strong driver out here, especially in these cars.
Yeah, I think he had an issue on pit road or something. Something happened on pit road, and he lost the lead and was never able to come back up and quite get to the lead. I think he finished second in that race and was unable to get back to the front.
Right, and I know he had a dynamite heat race too last week, also from going from last to first, basically. So he's a strong contender out there, and we got Ty kind of chasing him right now. It's still early, but those are guys you got to watch for.
These guys are kind of spread out, but 14th and 15th back here is kind of hot and heavy. John Stepanek, we talked about him last week. He had a good run going last week, and then Brian Newingham, he's dropped all the way to 15th. So I don't really know unless he's saving his stuff, make sure not getting an accident or what. I'm not really sure why he dropped all the way to the. Oh, that was Mark Brinkamp we were talking about. Brian Newingham is riding in 15th, probably saving his stuff.
Right, and Mark Brentkamp, he's running fourth now, and just kind of just chilling out there, just making laps. Ed Walk, we saw him earlier too. He's right behind him in fifth, and I'm watching for that great runoff he had on exit, and it looks like he's still kind of doing it a little bit now.
Yeah, you kind of measure risk versus reward when it comes down to those kind of moves, and I think the risk there at the end of the heat race was worth it. He just got a little too much and ended in tragedy for him. But again, you get live on to race another time here in the main. It's not a move you would make in a real race because you got to fix the car.
Well, exactly, and maybe he learned a little something through his heat race, and we'll see. I mean, we still got a lot of racing to go. They're barely a tenth of the way through this, and yeah, everybody seems pretty calm and collected right now, though. I don't see too much mayhem happening.
You got a battle for third. Brinkamp's looking on the inside of Stephen Hill, trying to retake that third place. He's going to get it going into three, so move the 78 up into third place.
And we're going to see how his fuel-saving strategies, too, work out for him. Like I say, he was very strong last week towards the end, and I think he's on to something with that. Again, I don't have a lot of experience with these cars, but yeah, it makes sense. There's not a whole lot you can do. So you got to, I guess, what is the old adage? They say, do something different than what the leader's doing.
Yeah, if you follow leaders, you'll continue to follow the leader. Yeah, it's kind of the thing, and he's trying something a little bit different, a bit innovative. Like you said, your hands are kind of tied with what you can do. He's finding it out in places where you can make a difference, and it's like Brinkamp gets a little loose there. Stephen Hill's going to look back to the inside of him for third place. These guys are just...
Yeah, I'm watching that third place battle, too. You got Ed Walk kind of sneaking up in there. They just got to be careful. It's just, give the guys some room and try to get that pass clean. Try not to take everybody out. So yeah, it's starting to spice up.
I was going to say, Stephen Hill got a really good run off turn two and kind of pushes up, has to get out of it, and falls back in line. Meanwhile, Huffstutler's out front. Bostic's just kind of hanging with him, just pacing him right now. And this is your battle, though.
Yeah, that's probably not a bad thing to do around here. You really got to have a little bit of patience. Ooh, and I'm watching Brinkamp and Stephen Hill both get a little loose. I mean, everybody still stayed where they were, but there's a little wiggling going on there.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse. We talked about how the tires kind of get hot and they wear throughout the race. These guys cannot change tires. So what you got is what you got. And these guys have to learn to kind of manage their tires, save their tires, and make sure they hang on to them for the whole run.
Yeah, and I'm watching a little bit further back in the field. We talked about David Baldessar. He's kind of in 10th right now, just kind of holding his own. Doesn't look like he's really gaining on anybody or really losing to anybody right now, but maybe we might see him. A couple cautions, too, that fly. It's going to bring these guys back together, and they might. You never know. You get a little spin, it's going to slow you down. These are our fixed setup cars, so everybody's got what you got out there.
Yeah, everybody's kind of spaced out except for this third, fourth, fifth, and sixth here. As you see Biesinger go around Ed Walk, so move Chad Biesinger up to fifth place in the number 23.
Yeah, and it looks like too. We got three guys that are on pit road still. I don't know if they're going to be coming out, but they're still getting their laps clicked off.
Yeah, unfortunately, Dan Pierce in the pits. Standards is in the pits. Actually, Standards is not. He's on pit on. No, he is on the pit in the pits, and Spanik as well. Looks like he may have retired.
Yeah, actually, now that I'm looking at Christopher Sanders has retired. Brendan Biesinger apparently had a packet loss, and he didn't even make the start of the race, which is kind of surprising because Biesinger, Brendan, and Chad are father and son combo. Chad's pretty strong as far as his connection goes, so I'd assume that they're not in the same household, but you never know.
Well, it can vary from from room to room too. It's a finicky thing. Yeah, that's one thing there's things we don't have to deal with as far as sim racing, but that's one thing we deal with as sim racing that you don't have in real racing as well. Is all it takes is a faulty connection, and boom, you're done. Kind
Yeah, a
of like
little cat and on a wire, and yeah, you're screwed.
yeah. All right. Meanwhile, up front, I mean, the gap's been about the same between Ty Bostic and Sean Huffstutler. Huffstutler continues to lead in the 94. Brinkamp running third. That's kind of been status quo, but from there backwards, it's been kind of fluctuating with Stephen Hill, Chad Biesinger back there, and Ed Walk, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth there.
Well, I'm looking at our top four on the Delta right now, and these guys are running almost very similar lap times. Chad Biesinger in fifth, though, he's been cutting. He had a couple of good cut laps, so he might have a little something for the leaders. But other than that, the top four have been basically running very similar lap times.
What that tells me is it may come down to tire wear, and with Chad Biesinger able to cut those laps off, I kind of wonder if he's using more tire. I guess we'll see as we go into this run. We've got 26 laps completed, 24 to go. I'm sorry, 34 to go. My math is, yeah.
Yep, 34.
So anyway, I mean, like I said, we'll see how the tires go. And honestly, you were talking about fuel as well. I mean, if these guys do not have a caution,
dare I say we see some green flag stops?
That's going to be interesting.
Crazy.
Interesting in these cars to have green flag pit stops and for fuel only.
Yeah, I almost want to say, and based on just some of the information we've received from the last, again, we're not 100, greatly familiar with these cars, but yeah, they're gonna have to stop for some fuel at some point. And I don't see any, none of the top five have in the one caution we have already had.
No, that's the question. Has anybody on the lead lap actually pitted for fuel? Did they pit for fuel in that first caution?
I don't remember seeing anybody going down. Again, I didn't look, but nobody stood out at me.
Look as well. Of course, that's not going to show me, unfortunately, but that's interesting.
Yeah, but it looks like not much has changed. Even deltas are still they're kind of fluctuating in the 0.1s to 0.2 range, the top five. So a caution might bring them together a little bit more. Although we see the restarts really pay off to some people, and some guys are sleeping on them a little bit. And yeah, it's just, hey, we're having some green flags, and we've hit halfway. So like I say, at some point these guys are gonna have to come in for some fuel.
There's the halfway mark. I got to tell you though, Bostic has closed up on Huffstutler. We're about to have a battle for the lead, I believe.
Well, Huffstutler didn't have a great lap last lap. He was about 2 tenths slower. So yeah, that's all it takes. One little slip, one little hang up, and you got you're fighting for that position now. Yeah, he's got a great drive going in. Coming up to the corner, he loses a little ground. Let's see what he's got on exit. And I'm talking about Ty Bostic now. That was a great run on the outside.
Yeah, he's been running a little lower in 3-4. As you see, Sean Huffstutler kind of mimic that now. He's moved low to kind of block that move. But Bostic's been making a lot of time through 3 and 4 running the very bottom of the track.
And we do know there is a little bit of draft with these things. Not a lot, but probably more than you'd think there would be.
Battle for fourth. You got Stephen Hill and Chad Biesinger side by side. Biesinger trying to take that away to the inside. He's got the preferred line, and he almost cleared him. He tried.
Well, and Brinkamp running back there in third, he kind of broke away from that little pack, and he's kind of setting on sail for the top three.
Does he catch the lap car of, I believe that's Brian Newingham.
Yes, I believe that was. And actually, Camp right now, he's running stronger laps on the top too.
And
So could be a little bit of that fuel, like we are
Biesinger,
talking.
yeah, maybe so. Biesinger able to complete that pass. Oh, now, Stephen Hill way high. Almost hits the wall. I don't think he even touched it, but he was very close, and that's going to allow Greg Drelling into 35 up to 5th place, and now looking to the inside of Chad Biesinger.
Yeah, wow. And then, yeah, Drelling finished 3rd last time we were here, and he's no slouch. It's good to see his name back up there.
He's coming on
he's
strong.
Yep, he's got a clear top. Or he's in 5th right now, as I'm seeing him. But he's got under a little attack for 5th from Stephen Hill.
No, he's going
from Chad.
He's going for 4th place from Chad Biesinger. So he's looking for 4th place here. Meanwhile, I mean, the battle for the lead gets closer and closer. They come up on another lap car who's going to run the bottom. I think it's Wayne Bridges. It kind of, Oh, Brinkamp's going to get around Bostic. Bostic struggled off turn 4 and then allowed Brinkamp to get by us to move Brinkamp in the 78 up to 2nd place. Ty Bostic back to 3rd.
Well, he's been continually fast. Brinkamp has in the 78. So I've been waiting for this. He's coming up there. What has he got for the leader now with Sean? But he's still got a little. He's got Ty on his rear end. So let's see if we can make any gap there.
He comes down to cover 3, 1, and 2 off 2. Good strong run. A little bit loose there, but I think everybody's going to start struggling with handling here. We got 22 laps to go.
Well, I'm wondering if they're looking at their gas gauge too and thinking about when are we going to come in or do we stay out? And honestly, I have no idea how much fuel they can actually go per with a full tank for laps. But I'd imagine we're at lap 40 now, so I'm going to say within the next 10 laps we're going to have to see somebody coming in.
It's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out for sure. And I got to give the guys credit too. I mean, they were able to keep this clean and green for this long. These cars, again, I say it every week, and I'll continue to say it, these cars are not easy to drive. And for them to be able to control their cars and race like they are, I mean, we've had some great racing. We see side by side Bostic and Brinkamp for 2nd place. And right behind them, you got Biesinger and Drelling fighting for 4th. Oh,
and I just saw Drilling kind of tap the wall. It didn't hurt him too bad, but he did kind of have to give up that spot for Biesinger, and now he's under fire from Stephen Hill. And it looks like Stephen Hill might be getting by him.
There's the battle for 5th, as you were talking about. Drilling falling back there.
Yeah, and Ty just cleared Mark Brenkamp also now, so that battle for 2nd is still going. Great. Sean Huffstuffler is still out there, just kind of in his own little little world, waiting.
Now, both these guys have been closing on Huffstuffler now, so it's getting really intense here up front.
Well, and what's even more impressive is they're running side by side too, and they're still kind of closing in on them.
They are, and impressive. Not only that they're closing, but they're keeping their cars under control. They're staying in their lane. I mean, this is great, clean racing, man. These guys are doing an awesome job out here. That's what I was getting at. I want to give these guys credit because they're doing an awesome job with what they're being handed and what they're being asked to do out here.
Well, and now we got Chad Biesinger. He's like, hey, don't forget about me. I'm running here in 4th. He's actually cutting some quick lap times right now of the top 4.
I was wondering.
He is on their bumper.
I was wondering about his lap time because he's actually running higher than 3 and 4. I think it saves the tire a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to handle through 3 and 4. We'll see if he does it again this lap, but he's been running a little bit higher. You see Sean Huffstuttler up front get loose, and that's going to open the door for Bostic on the outside.
Yep, and it looks like Ty's going to take that front spot. I think we got the first lead change of the night.
Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, all on your screen right there. Under a blanket with 15 laps to go here at the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series. These guys are putting on an awesome show.
This has probably been the cleanest race that we have seen so far. And yeah, these top 4 are there slicing and dicing, and it's actually a lot of excitement, a lot of fun. And I'm waiting. When are these guys coming in for a pit? I could almost guarantee they gotta get gas.
This is something they haven't experienced either, and when I gotta come to the pit road, I gotta,
Yeah, I'm
Now
going to
I
give
got
up
a
the
pit.
lead for this. Yeah, exactly. And it's just it looks like Ty got a nice run though. I mean, he is pulling away. Sean might be have a little ill handling with some tire issues because he is under attack now for second place
Well, we
from
need
Mark
time.
Brenkamp.
Oh, saw Brinkamp get loose off two there. We were talking about how tires are going to wear and how it's going to affect the handling, and that might be what you're seeing here because you're right. Ty Bostic's starting to step out, and he's kind of got a lead here over Huffstetler in second. The battle for third right now, Brinkamp and Biesinger. Again, Biesinger running that higher line, keeping his speed up, and is on the outside of Mark Brinkamp right now.
Well, and I don't think the tire wear is as dramatic here as Iowa as it was, say, last week in Dover. The lap times they have a bit of fall off, but it hasn't been nearly as extreme. I mean, nobody's been over a second with fall off so far, and yeah, we're coming to 10 to go now. So I'm just again I'm wondering about gas because I could have sworn a lot of the guys were saying they needed gas at some point.
These cars are dancing around too. Dancing
Yeah,
around. I think all of them are kind of hoping for a caution and hoping not to be the caution.
true, and that's the thing. We don't have caution, so there really wasn't. I mean, these guys are running at full song, burning off a lot of fuel.
You got Bostic in first, Huffstetler back to second as they go around a lap car. Brinkkamp in third. And Biesinger still pestering him for third place.
Yeah, that battle for third is really the hottest one on the track right now, and they are side by side.
Yeah, Chad's on the inside there, trying to use the inside lane. Gets a little tight, has to get out of it a little bit, and falls back in line.
Well, you got to worry. Yeah, you don't want to wash up into your guy trying to make a pass and take everybody out. We've seen that already before. So these guys are being very respectful of each other, and looks like he's getting ready to make another run at him.
Well, we're down to 8 laps to go. Still no pit stops.
Yeah, and honestly, I might have to do a little bit. Oh, and we got Brenkamp. He just
Caution,
flipped around.
caution.
Got a yellow.
Well, there's your yellow flag. The
That's
question
real
now
quick,
is,
tell
do
me
you
what
need
you
a
got.
pit?
Yeah, well, this is going to be, I guess we're going to have to follow the race leaders here, see what they do. If they're not coming in, I think they're good then. But I could have sworn that these guys said they needed some gas at some point. But they only got, what, 5 laps to go?
Let's go back and look and see what happened to Brinkamp before these guys decide to pit. Going through turn 1 and 2. Biesinger right on the back of him, giving him pressure the whole time. He finally gets a little loose off 2. And rather than to correct it in front of everybody, he just spins out. I think it was just a lazy spin. He didn't hit anything, so that's a great job by him.
Yeah, it looked like he did. Yeah, I mean, he obviously didn't have help. He just got a little loose. These cars are very twitchy, and yeah, good on him for not putting it into the wall. And he'll be able to get back up in there, and hopefully he didn't lose too many spots. And we'll see. We'll see. We know he's a good, strong driver. A winner last week, winner here. Last time they were here, so yeah, he knows how to get around here. It's probably not the end of his night, although he does not have many laps to do anything with now.
You see, these guys did not pit, did they?
I did not see anybody, but it's funny. I see a lot of guys running down that apron.
It might be close. I don't know. Either way, we're going to get a shootout here. You got Ty Bostic up front, who was starting to pull out a lead. He did not want to see this caution, but he's your leader. Sean Huffstetler second. Chad Biesinger running third. Greg Drelling running fourth, and Stephen Hill running in fifth.
Yep. Then we got Ed Watch sixth right now. Marshall Layton he's seventh. David Baldessar is eighth. John Bennett ninth. Mark Brenkamp fell to 10th. So, and we got Billy O. Smith. He's 11th. That's got to be one of his. He's the last guy in the lead lap currently, and I think that's probably one of his best runs that we've seen here since we started doing this.
These guys all running down low, trying to save that fuel, trying to keep as much weight in the car as possible. Like these guys, you're seeing more and more people do this, so I guess they picked up on that. But should be a little short. The Saturday night shootout on a Sunday night with these cars, and should be a lot of fun. We'll see how this works out. We've seen carnage towards the end of some of these races. I just wonder if people are going to be pushing a little too hard. See if we get multiple restarts here.
Well, they do get the one green-white checkered, and the way it's running, the way the laps are falling at currently is I wonder if we're going to even see a green white checkered. So this could be the last restart of the night, and you just got to get a good jump, get out there, stay clean, and that would smell of victory for Ty at least. Sean's just going to have to close up on him, get that restart, and we know too restarts are detrimental in these cars. Mark mentioned it last week in the interview. They are tough, and we've seen a lot of guys spin out. Just giving a little too much throttle on that green flag.
That's true, and that's another thing to mention. We've only had one restart in the main. Of course, the guys had the starts in the heats, but totally, they've only had to do the starts and restarts twice tonight. So there's
And
not a
that was
bunch of
early
it.
on.
That's another point. That was so. There's not a lot of experience with restarts, and there's certainly not a lot of experience restarting with old tires. So yeah, this could get a little dicey, a little hairy here. We'll see how these guys are able to put the power down. I think we're going to go green this time by.
Yeah, green with about 2 laps to go. So it's not going to be an official green white checker, but this might be it.
You could
And then
see it because we could get another quick caution. So
a quick caution will do it. And then are they really going to have enough fuel?
looks like we're going to stay under caution one more lap here.
Yeah, which I wonder if iRacing will throw that green white checkered at that point.
It'll be officially 2 laps to go on normal distance. So I don't believe it'll be an official green white checker. So if we get another caution on that lap on the restart, you could see a green white checkered.
Well, that's going to be. I know a lot of guys probably don't want that.
No, I know. I know one guy in particular that doesn't want it. We're looking at him right now, Ty Bostic, in the 24. He's ready to get this over and done with. I mean, he was pulling away under green, and unfortunately, that caution came out, groups everybody back up together, and that gives Huff Stutler, Biesinger, and these guys another chance. And we've seen Biesinger being really quick towards the end of this run too. So we'll see if he can do anything from third place.
It's all going to be about that restart, and I thought I heard a little radio chatter about fuel. Fuel was the topic, so yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear some of these guys in victory lane, and let's see what they got to say.
Who are we going to talk to? We're going to find out here. We're going to green flag, 2 laps to go. Bostic leading Hutz-Stutler
Caution.
and Biesinger. And there's your caution. That's exactly what we were talking about. Stephen Hill, too, having
Did you happen to get a look at your temps when you're on track right after that
having
caution
issues on the restart.
Yeah, well, with old tires and that stabby throttle.
Let's go back and look at it here. On the restart, looking to the outside, tries to get the power down. Oh, he goes by. And I don't know there. He just looks like the tires just lost grip and he got into somebody. Was that Brinkamp? No, that was Bennett he got into. John Bennett.
From what I'm hearing, too, there is no green-white checker. It looks like we got Ty Bostic as our winner.
Wow, you're right. No green-white checkered. So that's going to end it. He's going to come off 4. He's going to claim win number 3 of the season. In 4 rounds, Ty Bostic, your winner tonight at Iowa Speedway.
And then we got Sean Huffstutler coming in second, Chad Biesinger third, Ed Walk fourth, Marshall Layton is fifth, David Baldessar had a decent rebound there in sixth, John Bennett seventh, Mark Brenkamp had that issue, brought out that last caution, but he still managed to get an eighth out of it. Billy Smith with his best finish of the year so far in ninth. Greg Drelling didn't see unfortunately, I don't know what happened to him at the end. Maybe he got caught up there, but he rounded out your top 10.
And there's 11th through 18th there on your screen as well. Yeah, unfortunately, he may have been involved in that wreck on the restart.
Yeah, and then you had Wade Bridges, Brian Newingham, Stephen Hill, and Melissa Dyer. They all finished multiple laps down. Kevin Dampier, John Stepanek, Christopher Standrich, and Brendan Biesinger had packet loss, but everybody else, Kevin Dampier, John Stepanek, and John Standrich, looks like they quit early from damage. Fortunately, too, you get that one fast repair, but after that, you're kind of on your own.
Got a little celebration.
Yeah, it looked like we had, I believe Todd or Ty and Ed are teammates. So yeah, they kind of came out there together and gave a little bump. I'm just watching them do these 360 donuts, thinking, yeah, I wouldn't be doing that in VR.
Yeah, the VR headsets, they kind of make that a little bit of a dizzying prospect there. But he's got plenty of gas apparently. He's still doing burnouts.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd be like I say, I'm curious to see what the fuel situation was actually. But yeah, that was a great race though. These guys, this is definitely the lowest amount of cautions we've seen in any of the races, and it was a great show. A lot of upfront mixing and matching, and yeah, some good battles for first. Even all the way up through the top 10, we had a lot of guys changing positions, and yeah, another great race.
Absolutely. Where we're going to thank our sponsors right quick. We'll be right back to interview some of the top three finishers here tonight from Iowa Speedway in the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series. Racing action from the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series is brought to you by Team 126 Racing, your home for hard-nosed short track racing action from the UK. Like and follow them at facebook.com/Team126Racing. By Butt Kicker. Feel what you've been missing and experience immersion on a whole new level. Visit thebuttkicker.com to see all of their amazing products today. By Track Racer. Experience refined gaming for yourself, including the new Alpine Racing TRX system. For more information, visit trackracer.com today. By Edwards Setup Shop, proud setup provider of the Smoking Tires Sprint Car Cup Series. Visit facebook.com/Edwards Setup Shop for more information. And by Epsilon Sprint Wraps, the place to get your sprint car and dirt racing paint schemes. Visit facebook.com/Epsilon Sprint Wraps today. All right, as we get set up for the post-race show here from Iowa Speedway, let's see if we can grab the third place finisher. Let's work on it here. Chad Biesinger, let's see if we can drag him in here. Hey, Chad Biesinger, you got us?
Yes, sir.
Hey, great run tonight. Third place finish, a lot of exciting racing there, and to come on with third, a lot of green flag racing too. Got plenty of questions for you guys, but again, congratulations first off.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Hey, listen. So there's two things that come to mind for me. First off, I saw you start moving up the track and running a high line through 3 and 4, especially through 3 and 4. Was that kind of a handling issue, or was that something you kind of found that hey, it works a little bit better up here and make a little time up there?
Oh, once I've noticed like in the trucks and previous gen cup cars and stuff that once you get a little wear on the tires, it just seemed a lot more comfortable, and you get a way better runoff down at 3 and 4 running up higher. And so I thought I'd give it a shot in the sprint car. I felt like I was getting a good runoff real comfortable. I felt like I wasn't burning the right front up as bad that way.
Yeah, we definitely saw you start inching in on second and first there. One of the fast, you were probably I think Tony said you were the fastest car there towards the end. Kind of started
Yeah.
inching up there and making up some time too. I guess the second question we'll probably ask everybody this in the booth tonight was fuel. I heard fuel was a little bit of a concern. How close was it on fuel, and were you guys close to having to stop there?
Oh, I think I still had about 6 or 7 laps of fuel left. Because when I ran practices and stuff, I knew it was going to be close, but I was pretty confident that, especially if there was at least 2 cautions, that would be good.
All right, Tony, you got anything?
I'm just wondering. Now I know you're the father of the father-son combo. What happened to the son tonight?
Sutton got a brand new computer, and it's not cooperating tonight.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, because we noticed he had some packet loss, couldn't make it in there. But yeah,
Yeah,
at least he still pulled it in for the family and got a podium out of it, right?
yeah.
Well, you've run good in all these other races as well. Got to be sitting pretty pretty in the points. Pretty pretty. I don't know where that came from. But anyway, I mean, a good consistent finishes week in week out. Good to see you up there. Hey, you're running to 23. You got to be doing something right. But
Yeah.
but anyway, again, congratulations on the great win tonight. I want to open the floor up to you. Give the mic to you. Do you have anybody watching out there? Any sponsors you'd like to thank? Anything you want to say there?
I'd just like to thank all the guys that keep coming out every week to race with. It's nice to have this size group. It's been a lot of fun.
Absolutely. And Chad, continue to put on a great show out there. Again, fun to watch you. Congratulations on your third place finish, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, guys.
Night.
That's your third place finisher in the 23. I got to kind of explain that because I actually run the 23 in our league. So little 23 on 23 action there. But good to see the 23 have a good run, finish third place, and a solid run tonight. Like I said, he's one of those guys, Tony, is up there every week in the points. I mean,
Yeah,
in the finishes.
absolutely. Well, yeah, and he did well here last time we were at Iowa. I believe it was a fourth place finish for him. But yeah. Well, even his son's pretty strong too, and unfortunately he had computer issues. But yeah, the Biesinger family, got to watch them out here. They're pretty good drivers.
Well, unfortunately, I don't see Sean Huffstetler in TeamSpeak or in Discord here. He was in here earlier, but unfortunately, it looks like he popped out, had something to do. So we're going to jump straight to victory lane, and we're going to talk to our three-time winner here in the Smoking Tire Sprint Car Cup Series. Got it done tonight at Iowa. Ty Bostic, again, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Well, Ty, we were we were talking to some of the guys about some of the handling issues and everything, and it looks like there at the end of the race, you started kind of stepping away from these, kind of walking away from these guys a little bit. Did you save a little early on to make that happen?
Yeah, I definitely rode in the draft a little bit, just kind of easing off and trying to save my tires. So I think that did help me in the long run.
Well, you were looking good. I'm sure you didn't want to see those restarts at the end. I knew it was going to get kind of, we get one restart, and you know how cautions breed cautions, and it was going to get kind of crazy. But man, talk about the long run we had there. I mean, you guys were, and it was not just riding. You guys were racing pretty hard back there, and was able to make that work with the green flag racing.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a lot of fun. It's always great to be able to run green instead of running five and stopping all the time. So that was a lot of fun, especially the top three. We were mixing it up pretty well there for a while.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the top three, top five had quite a bit of a mix up. And I want to say that you had mentioned early on that you're very new to these cars, or this is kind of the first series you've ran with these cars. So I guess my question is, what have you been learning so far? And I mean, obviously you got 3 wins now in the season. So what do you know that some of these other guys might not know rather?
Yeah, so these cars really helped me work on the thing I've been working on before I started even driving these cars is the early throttle control. So that's really important with these cars. So that's helping me focus on it a little more and it's starting to progress. I'm getting a little bit better at it. So that's not working out nice.
Yeah, well, we know restarts could be hairy too, and yeah, you had a great restart. Got the job done. You had the early caution, so you didn't have to fight too hard to keep that lead. But no, that was again great effort. Third win of the season so far. I believe you probably still have the points lead. I would imagine too. But yeah, that's that's pretty awesome. Do you have anybody out there that's watching that you want to throw the mic over to?
And we'll give a shout out to my parents always watching to pay to them and said that's a lot of fun. Thank y'all to y'all. Y'all do a good job.
All right,
All
there's
right.
your tonight's winner from Iowa, three-time winner of the series, points leader, the number 24 Ty Bostic. Man, what can you say about this guy, man? He's kind of dominating. He had a little bit of an off week last week, but man, he's got 3 wins on the season. He's kind of stepped up and kind of taken control. And you just talked about it. He's never run these cars before.
Yeah, and well, you and I have never run these cars before, and I don't think I'd be able to be anywhere near even last place finish out here. Uh, I mentioned that comment earlier with the steel word, the phrase, and you got to have them to drive around here, and they are not easy. And for him to come out do what he's been doing against against some really strong competition says a lot about him and says a lot about the league though too. They put on a lot of great racing, and tonight was clean and green and just a lot of fun to watch.
Absolutely. And final thoughts for tonight, man. We've had some great racing here tonight. A lot of green flag racing. I mean, these guys have kind of stepped up their game, and saw some great racing, some great side by side racing too. And just going forward, let's look at the schedule. Let's see what these guys have coming up. Next week we'll be at Richmond, one of my favorite tracks, but a little bit smaller than this, but kind of similar as far as shape. Yeah, a little bit of a little bigger track than these guys are used to. And then you go to Lucas Oil and South Boston, some of the shorter tracks. Then we head to Phoenix, Martinsville, New Hampshire, USA, and New Smyrna, ending out the season. But yeah, next week Richmond. What are we looking for there?
Well, we got, like you said, it's about the same shape, a little bit smaller, a little bit more banking. It's a completely different kind of a attack on a D-shaped oval track, but it's going to be the same. They're going to be there's going to be some wiggling, there's going to be some moving. I know Richmond's a lot tighter too, so it's going to be fun. I'm kind of you know me, I like the short tracks, and the rest of the season basically is short tracks. So you know, we're moving forward, and it's going to be a lot of fun moving forward.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we'll see you next week, next Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll be covering Richmond with these guys, and we'll see if Ty can go for 4 out of 5, or if somebody else steps up. You got to tune in to find out. So for Tony Solari, my name is Brady Hanna, and for Full Throttle Television, thank you for watching. We'll see you next week right here on Full Throttle TV.